What up, everybody? Power Book 2 Ghost Season 4, Episode 8. Brayden killed Elle's dealer Steve for selling Elle some bad product, putting Elle in the hospital. And Brayden didn't even know if Elle was going to make it or not at the time. Brayden told Tariq that they were just going there to scare Steve, but because Brayden was all coked out, he made Steve snort a bunch of coke. Then when he could have just let Steve die and make it look like an overdose, Brayden was so coked out himself that he put two in Steve's head anyway. And Tariq told Brayden that doing stupid stuff like that is how they get caught. Then they had to rush out the fire escape after the woman in the apartment upstairs heard the noise and yelled what was going on. And to make a bad situation worse, when Brayden got back to the hospital, Elle was awake and he let her know that Steve wouldn't be selling her or anyone else any product ever again, and that he protected her like he always would. And he also gave Elle her phone back that he used to set up the whole deal. But Elle didn't appreciate what Brayden did like he thought she would, but was actually disturbed by it, and told Brayden that she can't have that kind of guilt, then asked him to leave. Then in episode 9, Tariq asked Brayden if he had heard anything from Elle while Brayden was looking at videos on Elle's Instagram page. And Brayden told him that he hadn't. So there's a very good chance that Elle reported everything to the cops, because saying stuff like she can't have that kind of guilt could definitely be a clue that she's about to snitch. And the cops could actually been collecting evidence and getting their warrant at the same time everything was going on in episode 9. Then in episode 9, Brayden got involved with the whole Carter situation, letting Tariq know that he's here for all the wars after Tariq had his back with Steve. And Tariq specifically told Brayden to stay off the drugs on this mission after seeing how he behaved and went off on Steve in episode 8. But when they got to the church, it was clear that Brayden was already high as a kite and still bumping more coke. Brayden was so high he even offered Effie some, and she called him a fucking idiot. And when she reminded him that Tariq said no drugs, all Brayden had to say was that Tariq says a lot of things. So the longer this Carter situation lasts, the higher Brayden's gonna get, and we might see him tweak out again. And now Tariq, Brayden, and Effie have Don Carter, but they don't know what to do with him because they don't want to kill him because Carter has the video footage of Tariq and Brayden killing Zion. The episode 10 trailer has Tariq telling Davis that they're f***ed. So Davis then tells Tariq since Carter has something on them, they need to get something on Carter. And the episode 10 trailer shows Effie in Carter's house hacking into his laptop. But Carter isn't dumb enough to leave any kind of evidence about killing Rashad's brother Kamal on his laptop. But what Effie will discover on Carter's laptop is that he pinned Kamal's murder on one of the Russians. Keeping in mind that Effie is who deals with the Russians for Noma. So because of that, I think that Effie will know that the guy that Carter pinned the murder on couldn't have killed Kamal because he was meeting up with her on the other side of town for a job at the same time that they say Kamal was killed. Then Tariq and Effie will know that Carter killed Kamal, then the Russian, and planned the murder weapon on him. And the new plan would be to use this as leverage against Carter, threatening him that they would tell Rashad Tate the truth. Tariq's plan will be to let Carter loose and tell him the agreement moving forward is that they're going to leave each other alone, and Tariq will keep his mouth shut about Carter killing Kamal Tate. The exclusive photos from episode 10 shows Carter back free at the police department, and he's going to have to answer for what happened to his patrol car. And he'll likely say that he got into a wreck because he also has scratches on his face. But for whatever reason, Tariq's going to meet back up with Carter again, possibly trying to get the footage of him killing Zion from Carter. Either though, I don't think he could ever trust Carter to give him that footage. I also think that Tariq will know this though at the same time and be planning on setting Carter up because Drew is also at this meeting. So possibly they're planning on setting Carter up in a trap. Maybe he thinks he's going to be meeting up with Noma or something like that. Because the episode 10 trailer shows Carter meeting up with Tariq again in a different location with Brayden walking up to Carter and putting a gun to his back. I think that Brayden's going to be so high that he walks up to Carter, shoots him in the back, and then takes the kill shot. My initial thought was that Brayden likely doesn't kill Carter because they wouldn't tease it like that on the preview. But then I remembered the part 2 trailer and the episode 8 trailer showed Brayden pointing his gun at Steve, and we thought the same thing then. That's because we're so used to the old Brayden freezing up like he has so many times before. I definitely thought from the episode 8 preview when Brayden went on to kill Steve that he's gonna freeze up again, and in this case it would have been better if he did. Maybe geeked out Brayden is the opposite and is trigger happy, because I think the same thing's gonna happen in the finale, that Brayden's gonna be real high and end up killing Detective Carter. So by the end of Power Book 2, Brayden could possibly be facing 2 murder cases, one for killing Steve and one for killing Detective Carter. And even if he slides on one of these cases, he will likely get locked up for one of them at the same time. Or he could possibly be forced to admit to both these murders to protect Tariq and keep him from going to prison also. Just like how Tasha went to prison at the end of Power. And like Tasha was willing to take the weight for Tariq, I think Brayden's also going to do the same thing and take full responsibility for all the charges so Tariq can walk away a free man. And just like Tariq vowed that he was going to get Tasha out of prison, he will do the same thing with Brayden. But it's going to be a lot more difficult this time because Brayden's going to actually plead guilty to all the charges. As long as Tariq isn't charged with anything, that's going to be the conditions of his plea agreement. One positive step in that direction is the fact that I think Davis McLean is going to be getting his law license restored in episode 10. But since Brayden's going to plead guilty, Davis McLean's only going to be able to help but so much. To get Brayden out of prison, Tariq's going to need to connect with someone with some real influence. And this is when Rashad Tate steps in. Then this will be when Tariq gives the information to Rashad Tate, letting him know that Brayden did him a favor by killing his brother's killer, a dirty cop. Otherwise, he probably never would have got justice. And they would go back to their old agreement, a favor for a favor. And if at any time Tate would feel like he should do a favor for somebody, it would definitely be for the person who took out his brother's killer. But Rashad's going to let Tariq know that it's not going to be easy. And the only way that he can get Brayden free would be to get Brayden a pardon. I feel like this could be a meeting that happens at the end of Book 2, parallel to Tasha's conversation with Simon Stern at the end of Power when he agreed to get Tariq into Stansfield. This meeting will set the stage for the upcoming book, and Brayden will likely spend the first season of the new spinoff in prison, like Tasha spent the first season of Power Book 2 in jail, and Kanan spent the first season of Power in prison. Then Tariq will start working with Rashad Tate in some kind of way in politics for the purpose of trying to get that pardon for Brayden. Like his goal was to graduate when Power Book 2 started so he could get his trust fund. And this could actually be what saves a few characters and bring them back into play at some point, because there's also a chance that Kane, possibly even Drew and Diana, could go to prison also. I think Kane and Drew could both go to prison, and Diana then would be on a mission to help them out as well. And Tate might be the key for all of them. And I know there's a few different type of pardons. The most common are presidential and governor pardons. Because of that, Tate likely won't be able to do the pardon by himself. And this is where Tariq's going to come into play. Because he's going to have to get dirt on the right person so that Tate can blackmail whoever he needs to get the pardon. Just like how Tariq got dirt on Sweeney so Tate could get the position in Congress to begin with. And there you have it. Leave your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments.